In the headlines, President Tinubu tells judiciary to treat kidnappers as terrorists. Flights disrupted as Port Harcourt Airport host communities protest blackout and neglect. CBN EFCC probe banks firms over alleged forex racketeering. And away from Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau former president's son jailed in the United States. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. And now the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has urged the judiciary to be firm in its judgment against kidnappers and treat the individuals involved in such a despicable act as terrorists. The president spoke on Tuesday at an iftar dinner with members of the judicial arm of government led by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola. He described kidnapping as a reprehensible act which must be met with a strong resolve. And our correspondent at the State House, Kehinde Amodi, has more on this report.
President Tinubu has continued to meet with members of different arms of government in the course of the Ramadan fast. This time around, he's meeting with a delegation from the judiciary, made up of 7 retired officers, including 2 former Chief Justices of Nigeria, Justices Mahmood Muhammad and Walter Onogen. He has chosen to pass a strong message on this occasion.
Let's take very strong action against these people. They become cowardly, they have been degraded, they look for soft targets, they go to backyard of local schools, kidnap children and create disaffection. We must treat them equally as terrorists.
The president also shares insights into what motivated the review of salaries of judicial officers by his administration.
We can't blame me. I have to see it from compensatory, fair angle that will be beneficial. And you can't say you fighting corruption and not put teeth into the spine. It's not the proper way to go.
Both the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Attorney General of the Federation are acknowledging the president's efforts to improve the welfare of judicial officers in the country.
For the first time, the administration now has the full complement of the Supreme Court. We are 21 justices now. It has never happened this way. Your Excellency approved all of them, and you've made payment for so many things for them. They are getting more and more comfortable.
The salaries and emoluments of judges of various courts have been comatose for quite some time, since 2007. It takes a man with great heart, determination, and consideration to do what you have just done. More than 300.2% increase has been given to the judges.
The call on the judiciary for stronger action against kidnappers is a key thrust of the administration to reduce insecurity across the country. But beyond that, the response of the judiciary on this occasion reflects the efforts of the Tinubu administration to maintain harmony between the 3 arms of government. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodi, Trust TV News.
Now away from the State House, viral TikTok videos showing a bandit flaunting ransom money has sparked widespread anger. Security analyst Zagazola Makama highlighted these videos, expressing concern over the platform's role in promoting terror. Social media users criticized authorities for the delayed response and called for improved security measures. Many expressed frustration over the apparent inability to trace the ransom money, reflecting deep concern over insecurity in the country. The people of Omagwa and Ikpo community in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State have barricaded the entrance of the Port Harcourt International Airport while protesting lack of power supply and other amenities. The protest has disrupted flight operations as air travelers were stranded just as the situation caused a gridlock stretching from the airport road to adjoining communities. The protesters, who trooped out as early as 7 a.m. on Wednesday, lamented that despite hosting the international airport and suffering from noise pollution daily, they're not paid any form of compensation and there are no good schools in the area. One of the protesters, simply identified as Oki, accused the airport authorities of neglect, saying that his community has not seen light for 10 years. Now, the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, has revealed that security agencies, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, are currently investigating questionable foreign exchange allocations and forward contracts previously estimated at $2.4 billion. The Apex Bank, according to him, is providing the necessary documents to help the investigation. The development followed by the conclusion of the audit of a $7 billion debt inherited by Cardoso-led CBN from the previous administration of the Apex Bank. The new administration of the bank had engaged a global firm, Deloitte, to carry out an audit of $7 billion debt. Now, the House of Representatives Committee on Land Transport say some staff of the Nigerian Railway Corporation are culpable in the vandalization of rail tracks and assets across the country. The chairman of the committee, Blessing Onu, who stated this, said that the move prompted the House to institute a probe into cases of vandalization in the country. The report.
According to the committee chairman, the investigation was prompted by the incident regarding the movement of coaches from Maiduguri to Jos, which sparked speculations about the alleged stealing of NRC's assets across the country. She stated that Nigerians were worried about the state of assets of the NRC, especially as regards the safety of the tracks amidst incidences of vandalization of track sleepers, which were intercepted in many parts of the country.
Somebody must be held accountable. Someone out there is not doing his or her job as it should be. When next you want to move coaches, make sure you inform way ahead of time all the states that these coaches will be transiting or passing through to the destination, so that we don't have such cases again.
Because what they moved and left in the village, people go there and start stealing them. So luckily the minister has approved that the only place they can keep them is Port Harcourt, Aba, Umuahia and Enugu. So that committee is at work. So when they finish, it will be advertised.
Following the inability of the managing director to give a satisfactory explanation on the vandalization, a member of the committee accused the NRC of culpability in the ongoing theft of the corporation's assets.
It is my prayers that all the remaining stock in the NRC will not have gotten by now. Because last year, I alerted you right here in this office that something is missing, that I have it on good authority, that your property are being stolen. Right here, with the minister in presence, you told us in camera that yes, that very soon they were going to be boarded. Willingly, you refuse to board it, to have to bring money to the coffers of federal government, you allow it being stolen.
The committee thereafter adjourned to enable the corporation present with all relevant documents on the state of its assets across the country.
Away from the House, uncertainty has trailed the 2024 Hajj operations following the recent fare hike by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON. And despite the confusion, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke is assuring intending pilgrims from the state of necessary support for the exercise. To demonstrate his resolve, the governor recently performed the SOD turning ceremony for the state's Hajj camp in Osogbo. The aim is to alleviate the suffering experienced by Osun Muslim pilgrims every year as a result of lack of Hajj camp. Hamid Oyegbade files in this report.
Since the creation of Osun State in 1991 and the establishment of the Osun State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, successive administrations have not built a Hajj camp in the state. It means every year Muslim pilgrims are subjected to inconveniences while traveling to the Holy Land.
Preparation for Hajj, it requires coming to the governor's office or the proposed camp to prepare for one activities or the other. In the past years, there have not been a befitting place for people to sit down to do the registration and all other activities.
Because of the lack of a Hajj camp in Osun State, we experienced difficulties. We were kept in a small space, and when it rains, we move to somewhere else.
At the third turning of the Osun Hajj camp in Osogbo, Governor Nuruddin Ademola Jackson Adeleke assured Muslims in the state that the project would be completed without delay to make Hajj operations smooth for the Osun pilgrims going forward.
Go to Hajj, they be gathered here and relax before they go to Hajj. That is why we are laying the foundation today.
It has now become a reality that we are going to have a Hajj camp, vivid Hajj camp for our people. When they are going thousands to Hajj and they don't have any place to meet, to interact, to rest at it before they go on their journey, it's tedious. But now it's over.
Also, say Muslim pilgrims are suffering because of lack of Hajj camp. They will be here for almost 2 or 3 days, literally all the surroundings of the Hajj of our offices. And this is the reason why we pleaded to Mr. Governor, and he yielded to our pleading. And today, he now laid the foundation of the Hajj camp.
But beyond the Hajj camp, the real pressing issue this year is the Hajj fare. Intending pilgrims who had saved up money to travel this year are not sure they can make up the extra 1.9 million naira recently announced by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria.
My own advice for the federal government and the state government, I want them to interfere to what is happening now.
The Osun State Muslim community and the League of Imams and Alfas in the state have expressed gratitude to the governor for the Hajj camp project. But intending pilgrims are looking to him to intervene in the area of the fair. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Farmers in Bauchi State have altered their planting patterns in response to climate change and the high cost of farming equipment, which often hampers their harvest. Speaking to Trust TV, the farmers expressed readiness to tackle the potential challenges of the upcoming rainy season. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has more.
The onset of rainy season in Nigeria varies across geographical regions, with the northern part typically experiencing it from April to the end of October. Abdullahi Tale, a smallholder farmer with a cooperative society, emphasized the importance of early preparation for farmers to avoid losing focus. This includes tasks such as clearing farmland and other necessary preparations.
But in any reason, if a farmer produces in a very, very high price, definitely the price of food, it will increase. The price of maize, if you look at this time around, it's about 50-something-thousand naira. And he bought fertilizer of 20-something-thousand naira. Now, a price of fertilizer is about 40-something-thousand naira. What do you expect? at the end of the rainy season or at the harvesting periods.
During this period of heightening agricultural activities, farmers engage in various tasks such as purchasing fertilizers, constructing storage facilities for their produce, and acquiring quality seed and agrochemicals. Farmers share their experiences and insight into cultivation during the rainy season, highlighting the importance of these preparations for successful farming endeavor. As soon as the rainy season begins by the month of June, there will be no more delays for our farming, although there were speculations of delayed rains from the weather forecast. We will not let that deter us. We will kickstart the farming season in earnest and pray to God for a bountiful harvest. We will not relent and wait for government-subsidized fertilizer because it is not forthcoming.
Farmers are facing a lot of challenges, as I said earlier, because of the extreme weather conditions. More especially the rainy season farmers, you see mostly their products get spoiled before and even the cost of the transportation to the markets is also getting higher.
Climatic change. Now I want to change the type of crop because I want to plant like soya beans, sorghums, and other things. I want to minimize the rate of farming rice and maize because they need fertilizer more compared to the other sorghums and soya beans.
Government ministries and agencies have yet to provide any clarity or plans as the farming season rapidly approaches. Minister for Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari recently attributed this year's food crisis in this country to the failure of the previous administration to adequately plan for wet season cultivation in 2023. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
This is the news updates on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at Lagos mainland community residents lamenting demolition of houses. Details of this news and more after the break. Stay with us. You're welcome back. You're still watching the news updates on Trust Television. Let's take a look at our top headlines again. We told you earlier that President Tinubu tells judiciary to treat kidnappers as terrorists. And flights disrupted as Port Harcourt Airport host communities protest blackout and neglect. And moving on, in a bid to eradicate malaria in Nigeria, experts at the National Malaria Elimination Program aim to decrease malaria cases to 10% by 2025. The plan to achieve this through the implementation of new management strategies, including the deployment of anti-malaria medicines, distribution of insecticide-treated nets, and initiation of seasonal malaria chemo-preventive treatment in endemic regions, particularly in northern Nigeria. These efforts are expected to reduce mortality rates among the vulnerable population. Aisha Saliu reports.
Statistics indicate that Nigeria accounts for a significant 31% of global malaria deaths. However, experts note a reduction trend from the 27% prevalence rate in 2015 to 22% in 2021. They emphasize the need for increased advocacy to achieve malaria elimination, as has been accomplished in some other African countries. Malaria control efforts in Nigeria involve recommended treatment and prevention interventions, including case management, such as diagnosis and treatment, indoor residual spraying, and the use of insecticide-treated nets. Priority is given to pregnant women and children in these efforts.
When you talk about seasonal malaria chemo-preventive treatment, it talks about areas where rainfall is seasonal. We know that malaria cases usually increase during rainy season because that's when the vectors are bred and that's when they multiply and bite people more. So it targets that period. And in the other part of the country, we also distribute net as well as we ensure that children who are the vulnerable population and pregnant women most of the time get adequate treatment. We have other intervention for pregnant like the intermittent preventive treatment for pregnant women. We distribute net for pregnant women. Not only campaign, but we also do routine. When pregnant women deliver in the health facility, they get free nets in most parts of the countries.
With Kebbi, Sokoto and Zamfara states leading in the highest recorded cases of malaria, while Lagos and Kwara states report lower incidences, concerns arise regarding the level of awareness and preventive measures in these regions.
The effort is so much that there is adequate provision of the malaria medicine, and it should be free in the government hospital. And they recommended this of this medicine by WHO is artemisinin-based combination therapy, ACT. That is what has been recommended, and it's working. That will clear the parasite from the system, and also provision of insecticide-treated nets that is given either during the antenatal for the children and for the pregnant women, either routine or during the antenatal. All is to prevent whosoever from getting infected by the malaria parasite.
In an ambitious attempt to eliminate the disease globally, a malaria vaccine has been developed, which the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare says in partnership with the Global Vaccine Alliance will be prioritized during the rollout of the vaccines. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Amidst the economic hardship in the country, the Lagos State government has demolished houses in Oto, Lagos mainland community in Ibutameta West, leaving residents of the community homeless. And this was worsened their plight, as many are not just struggling for food, but shelter as well. The report.
The pathetic situation of residents of Oto, Lagos mainland community following the demolition has sparked outrage and left many without shelter. As a result, many now sleep outside as their abodes have been demolished.
Even though the demolition will come in a community, it should have been a negotiation with the people in the community. It's not bad if the kings and the Lagos State have meeting with the people in the community. If they want to chase people out of community, they should not chase them as an animal. We have a government of the people, by the people. But the government we have these days are the government of the people that are using power on the people.
Judgment is there for everybody to see that at least both parties should go and meet and see how we can. That is just the judgment. And now nobody's talk about the judgment. And this Friday, last Friday, you just see the Labaka, that is Labka. They start demolishing, set property ablaze.
The residents urge the government to come to their aid by providing shelter for them.
The houses outside, they are not affordable for us. We can't afford them. A lot of us are sleeping outside the main road, outside, even as we are like this. All our properties are lost and everything. We are outside, inside the rain. As I'm a single mom of two. I'm trying to live my life, a standard life at least. I don't want the community where I came out from to determine my future. I'm managing myself to even run the part-time program in Laspotech. Now all my everything are being chartered. As a last final year student now, I don't even know. I don't have any hope if I'm going to finish. If I'm going to even sign out this year with this that is going on, I don't have any hope anywhere because I've not paid my school fees. I've not done anything. The only hope I have is here, and now the hope is being chartered. They just came all of a sudden one afternoon, unannounced. We are begging, we are praying, we are begging them they should please, and please, we need adequate house. If the development is coming up, we should be included in it.
Make them recognize us and make them do better for all, both the tenants, both the landlord, both everybody. But we are suffer. We are suffer. Make them recognize us. See, the rain fall yesterday. We are inside the rain. It's all right.
They also called for compensation to enable them look for alternative accommodations.
A very heartbreaking report there from Oto in the Ibutimeta community area of Lagos State. But away from Nigeria, the son of a former president of Guinea-Bissau has been sentenced to more than 6.5 years in prison for involvement in a transnational heroin trafficking conspiracy. The U.S. Justice Department announced on Tuesday that this 52-year-old Malam Bakai Sanha Jr. planned to use the proceeds to finance a coup in the West African country that would lead to his eventual presidency and establishment of a drug regime. The statement said Sana was a leader and organizer in the heroin trafficking conspiracy and was involved in its importation from Europe to the United States, according to the statement. He was arrested along with a co-conspirator after arriving in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania in July 2022 and were extradited to the United States shortly afterwards. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more programming, documentaries and news updates, follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.